On this pod, starting out World Championships at 3-0 is exactly where they want to be. Marshall and Paul, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. I mean, nothing like setting up the feature match by like, I'm about to get crushed, you guys. Like, I can't win, you know. It's
Set
like,
the expectations low, right?
Yeah,
You're
maybe you'll
like,
have a chance.
Yeah.
Although, I will say that after having looked at the list, I kind of see where he's coming from. Not in the crushed sense, but what Monty pointed out, really critical there, Paul. Lots of 3-drops makes it very difficult to like ever get the 2 spell turns going. Kind of a rough curve.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a deck we're looking at, which had a weird curve and also no bombs. Now, he does have a good amount of interaction, right? He has a good amount of removal. So, you know, with the right combination of draws, maybe he can get there. But Javier has a similar deck, but just looks much, much stronger. So Derrick has a very, very uphill battle to fight here.
That's right. You can see the top finish disparity. Just 10 separates these two players. There's Javier as he shuffles up and gets ready to play against Derrick. This, of course, is going to decide our pod champion, the 3-0 player from this pod. The players play within pod, so there's only one 3-0 player that emerges from each 8-player pod, and it's critical. We've been talking about this a lot today, Paul, but it's really a big difference. If you're tuning in and you're a regular Pro Tour viewer at the World Championship, we are 1 round fewer on each day 1 and 2, and that means that we've got 4 constructed rounds after this, not 5.
Right.
And that means that the weight that is put on these limited rounds is even heavier than normal.
Yeah, and same thing with the losses, right? If you pick up a loss, you just feel it that much more.
Yeah, you do not have any time at the World Championship to kind of ease in and go, well, I had a rough start, but I might be able to. It's like, no. You need to pick up every win. And whichever one of these players wins this match and comes away with that 3-0 is going to put themselves at a big advantage going into Constructed.
And Javier, wow, that is a nice collection of cards. I do believe there is the Earth King in the hand.
I see it.
With a bunch of interaction as well, and gonna attack, try to squeeze one point of damage in, and now Derrick has to make the decision. You're representing Razor Rings by making this attack, because you wouldn't make this attack with a Pillar Launch or a Yip Yip, because that would just be a 2-for-1 on yourself. Now Derrick goes, do I just want to prevent you from playing your 3-drop and force you to play the Razor Rings? That's what this attack is.
Right, and Derrick, you know, because Derrick is not going to assume that Javier is bluffing here. It's more, do I want to make that trade or not?
Yep.
The upside for Derrick to making the trade is that you eat up the mana of Dominguez this turn.
Right.
The downside, of course, is that you do allow Javier to trade off his kind of just okay removal spell for your pretty decent 3.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing that I was a little bit concerned about with this matchup going in. Both players have reasonable curves, and what you're going to see a lot of the time is both players just going to play a couple of creatures, gum up the ground, and then at some point Javier's going to draw one of his 2 or 3 extremely powerful bombs, and oftentimes those will be good enough to kind of take over the game.
Yeah, in this case, it's going to come down right on turn 4. Depending on what Derrick does, yeah, he's going to tap out for Kyoshi Warriors, and that means that we're going to see the Earth King.
Yep.
Of the cards in Javier's deck, that is the best one. That is a certified bomb, and it asks nothing of you. This is the type of card that you read and you're like, what am I giving up here? and you know, it's even easy to cast, right? Just 3 and a green. Like if you told me this card cost 2 green, I wouldn't even have flinched at all. And it's one of the reasons why it's able to be in Javier's deck, by the way. For those of you that weren't here with us for the draft, he is trying to lean heavily into white. He has his better cards are white, generally speaking. And he has Gather the Grand Lotus.
The White Lotus?
The White Lotus, thank you, which is the mono-white payoff card. Huh. So he didn't play the Earth King here?
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit concerned about just Derrick's battlefield here and wants to leave up Razor Rings and just try to slow down what Derrick's trying to do. Probably try to use that Razor Rings on the Water Tribe captain. And then I think he's going to have a lot more breathing room afterwards, and then you can maybe safely deploy the Earth King. So that's what's coming through my mind.
Derrick, I mean, knows is a strong word, but Derrick will certainly have his eye on the fact that Razor Rings could be in hand here.
Oh, yeah, and now look at this.
Can't he just play around it?
Well, he's playing the Rowdy Snowballers here and tapping the land.
Hit the land.
Hit the land, and now Javier, given that he can't play the Razor Rings, he's probably just going to land cycle the Saber-Tooth Moose Tiger and get that land so that he can, you know, just have access to more mana next turn. Saber-tooth Moose Lion.
How could
excuse
you,
me.
Paul? How
I'm
could you
sorry.
disrespect such a
you know,
majestic beast?
It's large.
It's
that's all.
obviously a saber-tooth
You know,
moose lion. I mean,
If
look at it.
if that image was pulled up, I would have gotten it right. Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really see a lot of lions.
I just saw mostly
on
moose.
it. It was mostly moose, yeah.
Yeah. Moose heavy.
Do you know what creature type it is? It's only 2.
Elk.
Yes?
Cat.
Yes.
All
It's the
right.
other way around. It's a cat elk. But
Why am I even here?
this is a great play by Derrick. I really love locking down that plains. And Paul, look at the hand for Javier. Like,
17, 19.
kind of gets awkward for him because he decided to keep the saber-tooth moose lion in hand. And that means he doesn't have a guaranteed 4th land. Now, he does have 4 mana available.
Remember, the Raucous audience
Yes.
was 6, so you couldn't actually land cycle that turn. But yes, he does have access to the mana here. Has to run it out. But I mean, Derrick has a really, really good attack here. At least he can attack with the 2 3/3s here if he wants. And if Derrick has some other way to, or draws a way to deal with this bear, I mean.
He has 2 copies of Lost Days in his deck.
Yeah, and a second copy of Path to Redemption in the deck as well.
Okay.
There's also Crashing Wave that he's got that he can use to kind of lock down the board.
Finish up the game.
Yeah.
Oh, and he hit the
drew the
Lost Days off
Lost
the
Days.
top.
That was a huge,
What a
huge draw.
rip. So he can just snipe the bear.
Yeah.
That's a hard removal spell. And Javier
Tempo.
is devastated at this. He grimaced when it came off
Right.
the top there.
Now he has to decide, do I want to trade the Earth King here for Ratty Snowballers, or should I just double block the Captain here, because that represents a lot of additional damage next turn, given that Derrick has access to the 5 mana.
Kind of have to take your medicine here, I think.
Yeah, so then you double block here, you go down to 5.
It's a tough pill to swallow, but you can't let Derrick untap with that and then get another good attack the next turn.
Yeah.
And Javier does get all of his mana this turn, so he will have a chance to rebuild.
Yeah, I wonder if Javier should have considered going and fetching that forest here. Not getting it here is making things a little bit awkward here.
Yeah, he had that point where the Snowballers targeted the plains, and he had the 2 mana,
Right.
and he could have cashed it in to turn the Saber-Tooth Moose Line into a forest, and he chose not to. Now, but if you do look at the board here, I mean, he does have a lot of mana, and if he can survive for a turn or two, the Moose Lion might be a big player.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely could. It's just, what do you do here? I feel like you can play Water Tribe Captain and still keep up Razor Rings, right? And the Water Tribe Captain is a great blocker here, so. Right? If Derrick can maybe find another Lost Days or something here.
Yeah, that would be... I mean, he did say he's running hot just to get to this point.
Right.
Oh, there's It'll Quench Ya.
Hey, that could be relevant if he tries to play Master Piandao or the Saber-Tooth Moose Lion.
Exactly. And right now, Derrick is in the business of keeping this board state as it sits. It favors him currently.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'll take this trade. Derrick's happy with that trade as well. There is a Razor Rings. Does Javier want to fire it off? Derrick did top deck that It'll Quench Ya. It would have been countered.
It would have. And can he keep up It'll Quench Ya?
Yeah,
Yes, he can.
He is. And, I mean, this is also why It'll Quench Ya seems to do really well. This is a format where you can generate a lot of clues, so it's not suspect when you just pass a 2 mana up with a clue on the battlefield. So if your opponent tries to play around it, you can just crack the clue.
So maybe he goes for Master Piandao now, and he could still have
that's
a
his only
blocker
option.
available.
Oh, and this is going to get countered.
Snap it off. It'll Quench Ya. These
1-1
tempo
the block.
plays from Derrick.
Yeah, and that's just game.
And he's got enough to actually attack for lethal here.
Wow.
Because Javier ended up having to tap some of his potential blockers for mana there.
Yeah, I feel like in that particular game, Javier made a lot of decisions to think about the late game, right? Just like, okay, well, I'm going to save this Razor Rings for something else. I'm not going to land cycle because if the game's going a little bit longer and I draw some lands, I can stabilize with these threats.
He didn't slam the Earth King.
Right, but Derrick had some really, really well-timed interactive spells here. The Quench, the Pacifism, the Lost Days, all were super big there.
We see Momo hit the battlefield here. This is not the playful pet. This is the friendly flyer.
The rare one, which I think is the worst one.
It's actually worse than the friendly flyer somehow, at least in this format.
It is rare to have just a ton of flyers in your deck, so that ability just doesn't happen as often as you would think.
Yeah, I think that you know, during the design phase, they were thinking, hey, we'll make blue-white like the Flyer, kind of the classic Flyers deck. There's a few cards seeded. Wow, Earth King coming down on 4 this time for Dominguez. No messing around.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it's really heavily towards allies, and the Flyers are kind of ancillary.
Wow,
to
Derrick
that.
has the perfect answer. Airbending Lenson on the 4/4 token.
Jeez, a solid 2-for-1 there for Derrick. Gets rid of the token and gets a card out of the deal.
And gets a smack in for 4 here.
Derrick, I'm going to get crushed in this feature match. Davis, so far up
And
again.
Javier's flooded. Look at his hand. He's just got a Rocky Rebuke and a 2/2 with 8 lands.
So at best, he can use that to kill Momo right now.
And Derrick Davis is running barrels of Blasting Jelly in his 2-color deck. I mean, he wasn't wrong. Like, he has a good amount of filler cards, but he also has good interaction, and he has an okay curve, and it's working out here so far.
You see Javier playing all these planes out of his hand. He's maybe trying to set up.
Wow.
Yeah, might as well.
Right, and the barrel. I wonder if Javier just fires off the Rocky Rebuke, maybe just looking for a bigger creature. Was that a 9th land? No way, right? Oh, a 9th land!
Yeah, he's playing all the planes for Gather the White Lotus,
flooded.
but now he's just going to have to use this to take down. Well, he can take down a 1/1 flyer or 2/2 on the ground.
I feel like you want to take the 2/2 down because that changes the clock, because right now it's a 2-turn clock.
Exactly, 5/5 is 10.
Yeah.
Like if he just draws 2 lands, it's over.
And Derrick has 2 removal spells. He's got a Lost Days in hand and the Barrel of Blasting Jelly on board.
Are you kidding me right now? Is Derrick Davis just going to run through this pod?
I mean, it looks like it here. Javier drew so many lands.
And
is that another one?
I
No
don't
way.
think so. I think it's the fight. Allies at Last. Yeah, Allies at Last. So that actually does
He's
buy
still
him
alive.
some clock here.
Yeah. This would put Javier down to 2. But a creature doesn't save Javier here, as he has the Lost
He
Days
needs
in
something
hand.
else. Maybe if he can find. Oh, he's found it. Oh, this is Ancestry. This is one of the best draws probably
like
that he could find.
Possible draw, but it's still not great, right? Like you use Lost Days on the token, and you have to chump block with the Earth King.
That's right, but still, what a rip for him.
It was
I mean,
huge.
Any single creature, he just loses there.
Right.
So that's better. And he will get to crack the clue. And assuming he's still alive, that's a question. If Derrick can get that thing out of the way, it's over. Oh, and he does find Path of Redemption off the top. And Derrick Davis, let's just say his magic skill outpaces his prediction skill at this point.
Look, I mean, that is why we play this game, right? I don't care how bad your deck is. You still have to play out the games. You draft a good curve. Your opponents can get flooded. Your opponents can mulligan. Anything can happen. And Derrick Davis here with some well-timed removal spells and Javier basically drawing 70% of the lands in his deck in Game 2 allowed Derrick Davis to start the World Championship with a 3-0 start.
That coveted 3-0 start, and off of a deck that admittedly is in the 2 best colors, the best color pair, but it was contested in that pod. So it was kind of a medium version of it, and he's somehow able to pilot that thing to the 3-0, including defeating Javier Dominguez there in the final. Really impressive for Derrick.
Yeah, wow. I mean, just easily handling the Earth King in both games, too.
Yeah, well, and 2 of them.
Right. Yes, you're right.
So somehow he handled 3 Earth Kings over 2 games and was able to get the win there. So really impressive stuff there from Derrick Davis. Any other thoughts on that, Paul?
Well, I mean, even a bad deck that's base blue-white can just get it done. And I think going in, that's what a lot of players were looking to do. You want to be white or blue, preferably both, because I think a lot of people do believe that's the strongest color combination. Even when it's contested, even when things look like it's a train wreck, it's still fine, just because white is just so deep, especially at common, where just there's no creature you take in white, you go, oh, yeah, I don't want that in my deck. Okay. Almost every single card that you take is just something that you're happy playing. So you can just always put together something functional that curves out with good interaction. And oftentimes, that's all you need.
All right. Well, we've got more Magic for you here. Another decider coming in, and it is once again, I mean, you know, we have to get used to this because we're at the World Championship, but like Kassis versus Shota Yasooka in the finals of their pod is what we've got up next. Just another incredible finals here. And again, you know, these are players that you look for to make deep runs at the World Championship, and they know 100%. We also have kind of an interesting dynamic with these two because these two particular players are really particularly known for their constructed prowess. Obviously, they're both totally good limited players too, but it's not their specialty necessarily. And that means if you can get a 3-0 coming out of booster draft, all of a sudden you're in your comfort zone, you know, for the rest of the day.
Yeah, just I mean, this is just a completely amazing head-to-head here. And by the way, remember what I talked about before, where blue-white's probably the thing you want to be doing? Both of these players drafting blue-white.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's take a listen from Eli Kassis.
Eli has been the model of consistency on the Pro Tour since the start of 2023, making the cut at every single PT and Worlds, a fact he shares with a few more people on this list we'll get to. His history playing the complex Insidious Roots combo decks in Standard this past year, and going deep in multiple events this season, signals to me he's someone you always want to look out for as the final rounds of Swiss approach, and if you're lucky, maybe you can figure out what deck he's decided on before lists are locked for the event, because he almost always picks right. With a 36th and a 19th place in Standard this year alone, if Eli's feeling a format, he's always going to be a threat.
Always going to be a threat, Paul.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's an understatement when it comes to a player like Eli Kassis. He's really, you know, he's one of those players that was out in the field, out at the Pro Tours for a number of years, and really seemed to put it all together at some point in his career where all of a sudden he took off like a rocket ship.
He did.
And he's just become one of those top players that nobody wants to face across from the table. His opponent, on the other hand, for Shota, he's always been one of those players. Nobody wants to play against Shota.
Not at all.
He's you know, for somebody who is he's a kind person, he's very intimidating. It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just been one of the best players in the world for quite some time here, and just always putting together incredible results.
You see a quick action here between the players. It'll Quencha is going to take care of the first threat there from Kassis, and then he's got the Water Tribe captain to come down and start twins, I should say. So two of them, 6 power versus nothing on the other side. And the thing to note here, Paul, blue-white mirror match.
Yeah, blue-white mirror match. I mean, it is, you know, the color combination that everybody wants to be in, and with good reason. Those are the deepest colors, especially at common. You don't necessarily need to rely on your rares to kind of take things down, but Eli just beating down here. We're seeing a lot more barrels of Blasting Jelly in 2 colors deck than I would have expected, but we had mentioned before, you know, this is the World Championship where you got to just kind of play everything that you get in the draft. You're not going to be tabling compassionate healers or anything along those lines, so you have to make it work.
So far, Eli's doing just that. He's got 6 power versus 0, and it's a pair of cat owls here for Shota. Again, you know, that's in the barrel of Blasting Jelly category. It's just doesn't really vibe with what the color pairs do. And you would think it would, again, going back to what we were talking about before with the flying sub theme. It just isn't really hit. It's really an allies deck, and the cat owl isn't one.
No, it's not. I think part of why Shota's playing it in the deck, outside of the fact that he needs playables, is he is playing Air Nomad Legacy. So if it's, you know, maybe it's the 23rd card and you just kind of find a way to fit a couple of those into your deck.
Really tough spot here for Shota. He actually can't block here because of the potential activated ability. It just becomes a chump block. And that's exactly what happens, by the way. Eli does activate and gets in for 8. Shota's down to 3. This thing's just about done.
Yeah, I mean, Shota just, I mean, he's got a thing to play here. But
Pretending Pox Bears.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, and he just says, I'm going to Jailer, remove your cat owl, attack with both, and you are dead. That is a very quick and one-sided game 1 going to Eli Kassis as he takes one step closer to that 3-0.
Yeah, Shota's deck is really, really well set up to get to the... if you get to the late game, you have to favor his side. He's got 2 copies of Planetarium of Wan Shi Tong in his deck. So all he wants to do is survive and get to that point.
He's doing that.
And he's doing that. The issue is just getting to that point, right? If Eli is on the play and has an aggressive draw, Shota might struggle because he has a lot of expensive cards in his deck.
By the way, this has to be one of the most annoying matchups for Shota to face if that's his game plan.
Right, absolutely.
Like we've already seen It'll Quencha.
Yep.
Right? And we saw the Jailer, like that's good here too. Like really annoying for him.
Did Ely just draft the same deck as Derrick Davis? We saw
The Platypus Bear blue-white.
Platypus Bear, Barrel of Blasting Jelly. Do what you got to do. This is the reason why the bear doesn't seem to do that well. You just can't attack with it most of the time here. Certainly something Shota might be happy playing in his deck, given the power level of the top end of his mana curve. But hey, 4/4 Cat Owl.
Yeah, that is legit good.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Ooh.
there's Aang the Airbender. They're not all mediocre cards for these
Right.
players.
That's
Ely
the flyer you
Kassis
want.
plays the really, really good one. Airbended out is the Cat Owl. I mean, he'll probably just put that back into play shortly here, but still.
Yes, yeah, Glider Kid. So Glider Kids plus Cat Owl seems like a very, very strong
Wow,
board to
4/4,
have on this
3/4?
board. Yeah.
Maybe that flying sub theme's a little.
Oh, maybe we were wrong. And Ely just, even with one removal spell, can't attack through with the Yang.
Nope. He's got the Earth Kingdom Protectors there,
Yep.
but
this is
unfortunately for Ely, his creatures aren't big enough to even have that really matter at this point.
right. And getting a big attack in. What do you have, Ely? I believe I did see Airbender's reversal. So Ely might utilize that to get the Cat Owl off the battlefield.
Destroy target attacking creature. Oh, he maybe is he combat
But
tricking
that's a
here?
4/4. Does
yeah,
he have
yep,
a...
Yep.
Wait. Okay.
He must have some way to do an extra damage.
Oh, can he bounce the Air Nomad Legacy with Airbending Lesson?
Yes.
Yes, and then that would kill the Cat Owl.
It would.
But it gives Shota another clue. But I guess that's one way to just kill a
Yeah,
flyer.
it solves the short-term problem,
Right.
which is really what was important, so it does make sense for Ely. But it cost him dearly.
Yeah.
He did have to give up a card to do that. He got his card back off of the lesson, so that's not so bad. Also, it does put a lesson in the yard.
Yeah, it absolutely. The bear, maybe with a removal spell on the owl can find a way to attack, but
Nope.
really just
Yeah.
playing defensively here. But that legacy is going to come back into play the next turn, and Ely's, again, not going to have a great block lined up here.
Yeah, I wonder what his plan is, because you'd normally expect Aang to attack there,
Right.
given that there's going to be 2 4 toughness attackers in the air and it won't be able to profitably block anyway. But maybe he has a plan.
Yeah, I did see the reversal. I imagine that's
Right.
going to be used on the Cat Owl. Maybe you just take 3. Yep. And remember, Shota has a card to draw off the clue, and like I mentioned before, if the game goes late, he's also got that Planetarium Wanchitong in hand.
Oh, he has. Okay.
Oh, and that's a Water Tribe Rallier, one of my favorite cards in the set. This thing, it costs 2 mana. You have to kill it. If you don't, it will just completely snowball the game out of control.
And you're going to see that here.
Right. Yeah,
He's got it
absolutely.
online already.
Oh, Razor Rings too.
Yeah, this one looks very well in Shota's hands.
Right.
Both of our games have been lopsided thus
Right.
far.
Yeah, and the Earth Kingdom Jailer now firing off on the Glider Kiss. So now Coast is a little bit more clear for the Planetarium of Wanchitong.
Yeah, especially if you have the extra land, that's always where it's
Right,
nice.
you always want to play it with 7 mana if you can afford to.
Right. The Planetarium also disregards normal timing, so you can cast creatures during combat off
Right.
of it, which is nice. It
There it
makes
is.
your combat steps for your opponent very annoying.
And if you're Ely, you're going, wait a second, you have 6 mana and you cycle a Rabbit Root Troop? What's going on over there?
Why?
Why would you do such a thing?
And he'll know shortly.
Yeah. Okay, Momo. Yeah, this is looking really, really tough here for Ely. You need to get off to that fast start. If you get to the late game, Shota just has so much power.
Looks like
Okay,
Shota's content to
swing it.
just continue to set
Yeah.
up. He has inevitability.
Right?
He's going to pay the 2 water bent to keep the extra card.
You can attack with the flyer, untap it, and still activate the Water Tribe Rallier here.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, this one just seems completely out of hand here. I mean, Ely would need some type of sweeper or bomb, and then even then he may not be in good shape.
Yeah.
The Planetarium will just
Okay.
dominate the second stage of the game.
Okay, Suki is an okay
Suki's
card.
solid.
Not
but
sure it's going to be enough here, though.
Doesn't do enough right now.
Kyoshu Warriors.
Yeah.
That's a great one with a Water Tribe Rallier in play.
Perfect.
More permanence in play to Waterbend.
Shota with 5 cards in hand.
I mean, he's never going to run out of action this game.
Never.
Ely needs some kind of backbreaking bomb here to really come back.
Yeah, we talk about inevitability in games like this, and that is firmly in Shota's hands. In fact, he has 2 card advantage engines going, or potentially going. He has one going now and one that looks like he's going to cast in a second here with Planetarium. No, not even then, not yet.
He's just like, I don't need to cast it yet.
Yeah. And so he's going to take out the Jailer. That'll get him back Glider Kids plus a Scry. The real question at this point is how much more can Ely take? Because that is so much value going to your opponent's side. And the answer is not a lot more. It gets disheartening at some point when your opponent's just getting 2-for-1s all over the place.
Yeah, after about the second or third Water Tribe Rallier activation, you're like, all right.
Yeah, I want to go back to what you said as well, Paul. This very much feels like, even though the colors are the same, it's like the inevitability control side for Shota and the tempo side for Kassis. So we need to see Ely get off to a quick start here if he's going to pick up this
Absolutely.
match. Longer the game goes, the better for Shota, which that's a position he finds himself in often.
Right.
He likes control decks that put himself in that spot, but he's got one here too.
Okay. That's
Tending Poxbears on both sides, but you have to like that for Shota just to eat up a bunch of attacks. And
yeah. Just keep your life total high. Get to 6 mana. That's kind of the name of the game here for Shota. And no 3-drop here from Ely.
Yeah, does he have anything? No.
Nothing. Wow.
Kassis does have 1 copy of Idolquentia in his library.
Wandering Musicians, really solid card. One of those cards that actually overperformed. I didn't actually think it would be that strong.
Same.
But because of how good the white aggressive strategies are and the fact that those decks are looking to go wide, it's really hard to kill, and it just allows you to crash in for a ton of damage.
It really does. The fact that it's an ally, easy to cast, and has 5 toughness is just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah. Shota rarely starts to make a play and then changes his mind, but we got one here.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of an awkward hand. He can cast Waterbending Lesson to kind of draw some cards. Of course, that doesn't allow you to add anything to the board, but it looks like he's going for it here. Because the other option is playing a 2-drop, which wouldn't impact the board that much here.
He's just going to discard to it rather than tap out his whole team here. That'll give him the chance to have blocks up.
Yeah, the Otter Penguin there goes to the graveyard.
Yeah, it doesn't fit that well in his list, so
right.
He's probably not too sad to see that one gone.
So Ely would love to just have another strong follow-up here. You do have the option to use the barrel on the Water Tribe Captain to get in a big attack here. You can also just attack with both. But just attacking here, Shota doesn't really have a double block as an option. He could, right? But then, of course, Ely just literally has the barrel in play to kill the 3/3 and then eat the Poxbearers.
Right, with Shota tapped out, it's just all face up at that point.
Yep.
What is
Suki
Ely's
would be
follow-up?
great.
Suki would be nice.
Okay.
Bending lesson for him, too.
You can tap down the Barrel of Blasting Jelly and the Plains here, so you don't have to discard.
It's just tough. You know, when Shota plays it, you're like, okay, yeah, land drops, things are happening. But when Ely takes his turn off to play it, you're thinking like, oh,
right,
you're falling behind.
Yeah, unless Ely also has some bombs of his own that can allow him to, take over. But
that doesn't seem like his style.
I don't.
There's Momo again.
All right, well, that thing gets to crash in for 2 if the Wandering Musicians gets to attack.
Yeah, it's a thing.
A lot of options here now for Shota.
6 cards in hand after the land drop.
See a Sandbender Storm in hand, but no good targets. Fairly weak removal spell. Oftentimes the best cards just don't even have 4 power.
Right. And that's the case here. No targets at all.
Ooh, Glider Kids and keep something on top.
Ooh, that's bad news for Ely.
Yeah.
How many cards? And then Shota says, only 3? Oh, maybe he's going to bottom it after all.
Yeah, I think it might have been a spell. Has Water Tribe Rallier and Air Nomad Legacy as an option this turn.
I saw a Cat Owl hiding in hand for a future turn. He did actually keep that on top.
I wonder if he just wants to add to the board. The issue with the Water Tribe Rallier is, of course, Ely can just use the Barrel of Blasting Jelly and get it off the battlefield immediately so that Shota wouldn't be able to get any value. Oftentimes with a card like Water Tribe Rallier, you want to play it when you can at least get one activation out of it. You play it turn 2 if you have to, if you have no other 2-drops, but it's the type of card that you kind of want to hold in your hand for a little bit later.
Shota with many great options. I mean, even in the case that he cast it and Ely has to main phase use Barrels of Blasting Jelly, you're like, yeah, sure.
Ely going for a very aggressive line here.
Hang.
Okay. This is a big board.
Earth Kingdom Protectors.
Yep. So this is an attack for 5 getting through. Shota going down to 12, I believe.
This is kind of Ely's big push, right? Like, if Shota can maneuver this turn and the next and keep his life total decent, he probably can try to set himself up for the late game. If Ely can find just enough tempo, you know, get something out of the way, even if it's temporary, may be able to find a win here.
And that Earth Kingdom Protectors is going to mean that you can still get in with your flyers and still be able to get some extra points of damage through if you want. But the Glider Kids will do a good job of kind of preventing some of those attacks because it comes into play as a 3/4, so the Momo can't really get in there. But the Aang could. It would have 4 power.
All
right. And remember, Ely does, once again, have the barrel. If you want to get very aggressive, you can just use that on the Glider Kids, right? Get the flyer off the battlefield, allowing you to crash in for 6 in the air with Aang and Momo. And this is one of those moments, like, you have enough cards in your hand. You just want to get permanence in play. If Water Tribe Rallier is your only play, you should probably just play it here. And actually, he has enough to activate it if he wants to. Yeah, his hand is really clunky. Shota's curve is really high. 3 Cat Owls, double Planetarium. I see an Earth Kingdom Soldiers in hand. What are his other options? It's cracking a clue or playing Water Tribe Rallier. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, shields up here for Shota. This is a big turn.
Big turn here for Ely. How much damage can he push through this turn?
If he can't make a meaningful push, he'll probably start to lose control of this game.
Yeah.
We know about the Barrels of Blasting Jelly, so he has one expensive removal spell at the ready, and he would even have 2 mana left over.
Yeah, the 5 mana. I think we're killing the flyer here. Yeah, okay. You can... Oh, is he going to just get in with everything? If you attack with the Musicians, that is an attack for 6 in the air. That would push Shota down to 5. You could even save the Wandering Musicians if Shota lines up a double block on the Wandering Musicians, right? Just so that you can get that pump effect again next turn.
Right.
Because that would be a lethal attack, assuming Shota doesn't have a flyer.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we think of these protectors as like a defensive kind of thing, but you can use it as leverage to just enable another attack, particularly with cards like Musician. But I mean, like you mentioned, you said if a flyer got blocked, he could save it and have it again for next turn. Like sometimes that's what its role is just to enable one additional attack step from one of your creatures.
Now Ely has to kind of figure out which creature he wants to kill. Of course, if the game goes longer, Water Tribe Rallier can get you a lot of value. Another thing Ely's considering is, well, if he activates the Water Tribe Rallier a few more times, can he find flyers to block what I have in play as well? What's the likelihood Shota is even going to need, or is Shota even going to be able to activate the Water Tribe Rallier? Excuse me, the 3/3 there, right? And the captain. So those are just kind of the things that he's thinking. How important is a 3/3 in play versus a 2/2? If you kill the 3/3, the next turn you can attack with the 1/1, and it would have 2 power.
And, you know, I think that he took that second line that you were exploring there, Paul. He took out the captain.
He didn't activate the Water Tribe Rallier.
No, he should have.
He should have, right?
Yeah, he had land clue, captain Rallier token.
Yeah. Was that a path to redemption? I'm not entirely sure. That would be big, but
yeah, there's so much writing on the Musicians at this point, right?
There absolutely is, and now this is even tricky here. Shota did find a path to redemption here. You might want to fire it off on Aang.
Yeah,
right?
Aang is the best attacker.
'Cause
if you take out the musicians
still
and then
take
just
4.
die to Aang and
Yeah, you still take 4, and if Ely
turns.
plays, oh, okay. So now if Ely
Wow.
has a removal spell here, he can close out this game.
he
here.
actually would just win, right?
Right, yes. That's 6 damage in the air if you also attack with the musicians.
Does he have some way to get this
Anything.
cat owl out of the way?
Oh,
And he does.
Yes.
Wow.
Now Shota can only have a yip yip maybe?
Yeah, yip to get it in the air, and he doesn't have it. Ely Kassis takes down the pod and secures a 3-0 victory going into Constructed, and he had to get through Shota Yasooka to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, we identified the kind of paths to victory for both decks, and it just kind of played out exactly how you would have expected, right? Games 1 and Game 3, Ely got played to the board. Aang the Last Airbender, we saw how powerful that effect is. And Shota just had a hand with a bunch of great cards. When you get to the late game, it's going to do something. But Ely goes, I don't want to get to the late game.
Yeah, and when
I'm
you
just
get
gonna
a
get you with
second
flyers."
copy of Aang the Last Airbender,
Oh, yeah.
that's gnarly.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it was one of the best uncommons in the set. It just does so much. Blink their thing, blink your thing. Whatever you need, Aang's there to kind of help close things out.
That's right, and he ended up even getting to pay a discount. Did you see that? Because of the Momo there.
Oh,
so
right.
it was a 3-mana second Aang, and then of course it is a legend, but you just keep the one that you already had, and that cleared the way. So a great victory there as we close out the limited rounds here on day 1 of the World Championship. We're going to come back after this at the news desk setting up for Constructed. Don't go anywhere.